winner take all. That is what we're going to get on November 25th in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Just like what a lot of people predicted would happen at the beginning of this season has come to fruition. And man, is it both exciting and absolutely nerve-wracking at the exact same time. I think I speak for all Buckeye fans out there when I say, look, they are the most excited when that team up north is on the schedule next, when it is game week to go play the Maize and Blue, but also especially because of what's happened the previous couple of seasons, it's very nerve-wracking, and it's very just it can kill you inside, and that comes with it. That's the price you pay to wear these colors. It's nerve-wracking. It's nervous. It's also fun. It's exciting. It's energetic. It's the game. It's the game, and it is going to put everything on the line on November 25th at noon Eastern Standard Time. I cannot wait for that game. I'm going to preview that game a little bit in this video, but mainly what I'm here to do is recap this game against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. I really don't have too much more to say other than the fact that Ohio State looked really, really good, and I feel pretty dang confident going into this game in Ann Arbor, but I'll talk about why here in a second. So, what's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate. You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't seen my channel before, hey, this is just one of many video series that I do. This is my Ohio State fan reaction channel, as you see by this lovely boy behind me as the jersey up here, and even by this little picture down here. It's like a painting of me at the College World Series. I do bleed scarlet and gray. You can also see that by the graphics that surround me right now. But if you want to help support the channel, I talk a lot more than just Ohio State. I talk about college football. It's one of my passions. It's what I love to talk about. If you want to hear me talk about college football, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, so you know when videos get uploaded. We're really winding down to the college football season. But hey, I do a lot more videos than that. Preview predictions, top 25s, everything you can possibly think of. So if you want to help show your support for the channel, obviously subscribe, ring the bells. Watching these videos is another huge way to help show your support. But you can also leave a like, you can comment, you can share, really anything that you guys are willing and or able to do to help support the channel does mean a lot to me. Sorry, just plugging in my computer here so it doesn't keel over and die. Whoop, cord going over. Alrighty, so once that is all set up, which I believe it is now. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about this game. This game was very good on both ends for the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes did not allow Minnesota to score until what? Like, yeah, there you go. Super early, or I should say pretty much midway there through the fourth quarter, and it was a pretty lengthy field goal that they had to make to be able to get some points up on the board. And, I mean, you just look top to bottom. I thought for the most part, Ohio State played it really well. Let's start with the offense. Kyle McCord. Ever since that Rutgers game, he has really settled his feet down. He has really found his consistent rhythm, and he's really starting to click. I love the way that Kyle McCord is playing right now, especially heading into the game in Ann Arbor. I think he's playing the best football that he has played so far this season. He's finally settling his feet. He's making the right decisions. And yes, while he's still missing players here and there, maybe there's a better throw that he could have made here and there, I think for the most part, Kyle McCord is rounding himself in to a really nice quarterback that's going to immensely help the Buckeyes' chances of beating this team in Ann Arbor. So, what does that mean now for his wide receiver room? As you take a look at the stats there, well, Marvin Harrison Jr., we know is a weapon. He only had 3 catches for 30 yards, but we know he's going to get his due time. Cade Stover is starting to get a little bit more involved. And again, they played pretty much everyone in this game. They didn't need Harrison and Stover and Johnson and Fleming to have these big games, right? It was Minnesota. Their offense was not going to be able to do enough to keep up with the Buckeyes offense and then even get past the Buckeye defense, which I'll talk about in a second. But what is really exciting to see, and what should be should really give a lot of Ohio State fans confidence is the fact that Emeka Egbuka was the leading receiver in this game, and he had 5 catches for 83 yards. I know that is a really solid stat line. No, he did not have a touchdown, but especially with the way that Emeka has been hurt, has kind of been in and out of being targeted, things like that. Seeing him being the leading receiver has to give a whole lot of confidence to people that wear scarlet and gray, simply for the fact that he is going to be a huge part to this game in Ann Arbor. He is going to be a huge part to this offense. He's going to be a huge part of what Ohio State is going to want to do to be able to get through this big blue defense. So seeing Emeka Egbuka get his production ramped back up is really, really good. Very excited to see what this wide receiver core has in store here in just under 1 week. Let's talk running backs, right? Obviously, with the injury to Mayan Williams, Travion Henderson was going to need to get a bigger workload. He had been dealing with some injuries of his own, but he's back, he's healthy, and man, let me tell you, that dude is an absolute game breaker. He is a game breaker. I love the way that Travion Henderson has been running the football for us. Now, let's talk about anything deeper than him, because I think as of right now, I know I've been on record saying that I think Dallin Hayden is the best running back in the room. I'm going to retract that statement for right now. I think he has the potential to be the best running back in that room, but right now it belongs to Travion Henderson. That man is running his you-know-what off. He is running really, really well. I love his vision. I love his explosiveness. I love his agility. I love everything about Travion Henderson. He's shown me more than enough that he is ready to play in the game here coming up very, very quickly. But let's talk about Dallin Hayden for a second. So Chip Trayanum obviously is going to be a fairly reliable option here for this team. He had 4 carries for 25 yards. And I would be very, very surprised if we don't see Chip Trayanum get the ball a time or two in the game against Michigan this upcoming week. But Dallin Hayden, I think, is also going to need to be a little bit of an X factor here. Now, do I expect them to play him? Maybe not right away, but if Ohio State is struggling to run the ball, if Travion can't get anything going against this Michigan front, if Chip Trayanum can't get anything going against this the Michigan front, I do expect them to throw someone like maybe Dallin Hayden in, maybe Evan Pryor in. That would at least be my expectation. I wouldn't think that they're going to try to still run with I wouldn't think that they're going to try to still run with Henderson or Chip Trayanum. So the running back room, if it cannot get going, which, by the way, I think it will. I think Travion Henderson's going to have his good moments. I think Chip Trayanum is going to struggle a little bit more because we know the defense that we are going to go up against, right? This is one of the top defenses, if not the best defense in America. That defense is really, really good over there in Ann Arbor. I like the way that Travion Henderson has been running, and I think he's going to have his good moments, but at times, if he starts to slow down and he starts to not really look too good, I am not going to sit here and beg of Ryan Day to do this, but I would implore him to at least look at Dallin Hayden as an option, because even though the kid maybe has taken a step back from where he was last year, granted, he has had more limited playing time this season. He can absolutely be a weapon for Ohio State to use it in that game. It's not just me saying it. There are a lot of other Buckeye fans that are saying it as well. He may need to be a vital piece to be able to win this game, because it is not going to be an easy game to win by any stretch of a mile, because this is an offense that we've seen their inconsistencies as of late. However, more recently as of late, specifically over their past 2 games, this is the Buckeye offense that is really settled in. It is clicking on all cylinders. It is really, really comfortable. And we finally, we maybe are not seeing it on the stat sheet. We're not seeing it on the scoreboard. But if you go watch the tape and you go watch the film, this is the Buckeye offense that's probably playing its best football of the season. It's finally clicking on all cylinders. Again, as I've talked about, Kyle McCord has really settled down his feet. He knows what is expected of him at this point. He has a lot of great skill positions, a lot of great skill position players, including the best wide receiver in college football, Marvin Harrison Jr. Emeka Egbuka is finally getting his production back up. Cade Stover is finally healthy. He's getting his production back up as well. And I think the thing that is the most impressive about this Buckeye team is if you go back and watch videos way back, if you go watch the Indiana, Youngstown State, Western Kentucky, Notre Dame, even Maryland or Purdue or some of those guys, I have been harping on this offensive line all season long. And it's not just me out there, right? It's a lot of Buckeye Nation that feels like this is an offensive line that needs to step it up. Well, it has. It has stepped it up. Now, is it fully there? I don't think so. I still think it can have some room to grow, but I think it is there enough to be able to slow down the Michigan pass rush enough to be able to give Kyle McCord enough time to find his guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka. Now, the Buckeyes are going to take some deep shots next week. They are, but there's going to be a lot of crossing routes, a lot of underneath stuff, a lot of seam routes run by Harrison and Egbuka, specifically Egbuka. We saw that in this game against Minnesota. We saw it in the game there all the way back in September against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, right? Those are Emeka Egbuka loves to run that seam route. They love to run him on that seam route, and it works. We saw it work today. We've seen it work before Emeka got hurt. It works, and I think it's going to work against Michigan here too. So I'm feeling really confident with this offense. And by the way, that offensive line, same 5 guys you've seen all season long. They haven't switched anybody out. Ryan Day and the offensive line coaches, and I should say the offensive coaches, period, have stayed consistent. They've stayed confident. They've stayed with the same 5 guys. And the way that they have grown together, the way that they have matured, the way that they've grown in not only run blocking, but also pass pro, this is an offensive line that has really, really shocked me as of late with how well it is playing. Now, does it allow people to get through? Yeah, every now and again, it does allow people to get through. It does allow pressure back to Kyle McCord, which is going to be an issue. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be an issue against a really, really good pass rushing team in the Michigan Wolverines. However, I am feeling a lot more confident about this offensive line than I would if you would have asked me right after that Notre Dame game, right? So, feeling a lot more confident about that. And I really don't know what else to say about this defense. This defense is just amazing. Now, we hope that Tommy Eichenberg will be back and ready to play this game against the Michigan Wolverines. Has not played the past couple of weeks. He is a leader. He is the staple. He is the centerpiece of this defense, and we're going to need him back. We really need him back because, look, this defense, it's shown that they can be good without Tommy. You can take it to another level when Tommy Eichenberg is that linebacker there roaming the middle. Sometimes they play him on the outside there as well. But this is a kid and just a phenomenal talent, a phenomenal leader. They're going to really benefit if they can get him back on the field in just under 1 week. That is going to be really, really key. But when you take a look at the rest of this Buckeye defense, the secondary, yes, can get a little bit more healthy there as well, as there are still some injuries there within the safety positions that you can definitely see get a whole lot better. However, the corners thought played really, really well. The defensive front, even without Tommy Eichenberg, thought played really, really well. I think Cody Simon stepped in and played really, really nice, even though he only came away with 2 tackles, still made his presence felt, still made a lot of good impact plays. This is a Buckeye defense I think is full and ready to go play this Michigan team. Have they had some problems with run defense? Yes. Are you going to need that run defense? Oh, absolutely. But this is the secondary that also has got to get healthy because we know J.J. McCarthy can also sling it, right? So and again, secondary, long pass plays, giving up the big play, especially through the air earlier and then on the run as of late, really hurt this team last year in this game in Columbus. Now, is this a team that is giving up those big plays? Not really this year. No, not at all. They may give up 1 or 2 chunk yardage plays per game, but they are not giving up the explosive 75-yard pass play. They're not giving up the explosive 82-yard run. Michigan may very well provide 1 or 2 of those in this game. Ohio State cannot let that happen. This is a defense that, look, I've been in love with all season long. They have not allowed an opponent to score more than 17 points, and I am expecting this game in Ann Arbor to be a dogfight. It is going to be a war, and look, it is a war any other year, but especially with what is on the line this year, it's going to be it's going to be all-out mayhem. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Look, no matter if the Buckeyes win or lose that game, and I know there are going to be some Buckeye fans out there that say, I'm not a true Buckeye fan. You can't lose to Michigan. Whatever, right? If you guys know me by now, you know that that's not how I operate. However, going into this game, I, I think it's going to be a phenomenal contest. I do not expect Michigan to pull away at the end like they have the past couple of seasons. I think this is going to be a very close contest. I think it's going to be nitty gritty. It's going to be a defensive war. The offenses are going to struggle, and I think whichever offense just plays better simply going to end up winning this game because I quite simply think both of these defenses are absolutely fantastic. I think these are the best two defenses in the country, and it's going to be an all-out war. So you see the winner take all there. You see the winner take all right up there. Let me tell you guys what that means. I'm sure a lot of you out there know what that means, but just in case you don't, let me tell you what it does mean. Big Ten East title on the line, and with Iowa clinching the Big Ten West, I don't see Iowa beating either Ohio State or Michigan, so naturally, Big Ten title likely on the line unless Iowa's able to pull off something spectacular in Indianapolis. And then with the way that the playoff conversation has worked out, I still have my board here from the video that I uploaded on Friday still set up, and we did not have chaos this year at all. Washington was able to go on the road and survive Oregon State. Louisville was able to go on the road and survive Miami. Now, we did have a little bit of chaos in the fact that Florida State is now going to most likely be without their quarterback Jordan Travis for the game against Florida, so we could see that chaos roam there. But Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, Washington, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, and Louisville all still well within the conversation to get into the college football playoffs. So realistically speaking, unless we get chaos that absolutely wreaks havoc these last 2 weeks, we are going to see the loser of Ohio State and Michigan likely not get into the field of four. And it is no fault to their own. It is not because they are not worthy. It is not because they are not good enough, but it is just because of what else is happening around the national conversation, right? It's what's happening with everybody else. So because everyone else won and because everyone else is still sitting in really, really good position here, there's definitely going to be a lot of debate to be had here. Now, as far as this matchup goes, I expect it to be number 2 versus number 3 for the second straight year. I do not think Ohio State and Michigan are going to suddenly bump up Georgia, especially after they just went on the road in Neyland Stadium and throttled the Tennessee Volunteers. So I expect it to be number 2 versus number 3. Is the winner going to get number 1? Probably not, unless it is Ohio State, then maybe I could see the playoff committee moving them back. If it is Michigan, I think just because of the resume between them and Georgia, they'll end up bumping up to 2. But even then, I still really, doesn't really matter because the winner of that game will secure a top 4 spot. That is as long as they can win the Big Ten championship, which I see it extremely likely that both of these teams can win a Big Ten title. Especially knowing that Iowa just won the West. I'm going to leave this one here. I don't want to preview that game up north too much here, but look, it's the most exciting and nerve-wracking week of the college football season. Everything is on the line in this game. Everything. I'm going to be a nervous wreck during the game, but I'm also really, really excited for this game to kick off. I just want Saturday to be here. Hey, you guys are going to hear my thoughts directly after the game. Directly after the game. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm not going to wait till Sunday. I'm not going to do any of that right after the game. This is the first time I've done this all season long. Right after the game, I'm going to record my thoughts on Ohio State and Michigan. Going to talk about the way that the rest of the season looks. And win or lose, what's going to need to happen for Ohio State and Michigan as well to make the college football playoff. Again, not just a one-team wrecking crew over here. I like to talk about everybody, even in videos like this. These are, I think, maybe besides Georgia, the 2 most talented teams in America, especially defensively. I think these are the 2 best defenses that America has right now. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a great game to watch. Big noon kickoff on November 25th in the Big House. Oh, man, this is going to be a fun one to watch. That's going to do it for this video. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Hey, remember to play hard but tailgate harder. Weekly takeaways and top 25 will be coming out here tomorrow. So, goodbye.